𝗗𝗆𝗍𝗂 BTC, and it's been a little bit of an altcoin bleed out today, but we have picked up a lot of strength in a couple of tokens, ETH being one of them, and there's a couple of others that I'm going to focus on today for you guys. So we've just had a dip in the market. Some of these alts are on good supports. Is it time to go long now? What are we doing? Are we waiting for lower? Well, I'm going to cover you guys on all of that stuff today. We got tons to talk about here. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. I'm back from Banter. Where was I yesterday? Crypto Live. I'm now back on Banter Plus. This is the home of hackers, okay? This is where we are Monday to Friday. Occasionally, I go to that Crypto Live. Here's James. He's floating around as well. He's bullish today, believe it or not. We had terrible job numbers, but
which is bullish. Everybody's panicking, going, "Oh man, they were horrible." Great. Now Powell can cut some rates. Trump's screaming about it. Everybody's bearish, long everything.
Okay, well, I'm kind of shocked that James is so bullish. So I've actually said today I'm going to long the top of something just to celebrate this moment. So I think I'm going to long the top of ETH during the course of the show. So get ready to long the top of ETH if you guys want to long the top of something with me. Okay, we're going to bring him on now because we're going to talk about the news as well. There's a spending bill and all these things going on. Now, Fartcoin absolutely shat the bed. Go figure. And it landed in our hot zone. It was a beautiful little bouncer late yesterday. We're going to cover some Fartcoin, but it was straight into the zone that I gave you guys yesterday. SPX doing things at the moment, but all around it's a bit red, but we've just seen some of these things start bottoming out. I've had to jump in again into virtual, sitting on some nice support now as well, dropped into a good zone. So there's a couple of interesting levels. Even shitcoins like FWOG have started moving a little bit. So things are definitely happening in the market after this little sell-off. Let's jump into BTC and let's just talk what is actually going on. So what I've picked up in terms of the 2 hour, we are still actually a little bit bearish on the 2 hour, but we do know on the 1 hour time frame, we already have a reversal print. So the 2 hour, you know, we can see the 2 hour reverse at any point in time. The 1 hour has already printed something like that. And you can see we are getting a bounce now in BTC. And just a typical basic TA zone here, 104,500. This was the zone I dropped in hackers earlier this morning, waiting for this area to get hit. Look at that beautiful dip into our hacker zone there. That's 618 just below and a nice little push up. So now what are we looking for BTC? If we're going to get the full move, I'm trying to keep it really simple. There's three big zones here that we're going to pay attention to. 106.5, possible danger zone. 107.5, possible danger zone. And then the big one for me, 108.5 as the possible big area. Now, the reason being we've got this trend as well. We've got a big 618 pool here. We've got horizontals. And to top it off, we've also got tons of liquidity on the 24-hour sitting here at these highs. So if we can get this push into that zone, that is pretty much going to be the peak of any move that I'm chasing in terms of where we are with some alts and in terms of BTC. So 108K, that's the extreme, the 24-hour showing us things at the moment. And they've wiped out everybody here today to the downside. I think everybody's tired now. And the easiest move for the market makers is to now maybe drive it up just to trap some late longs again and cause more damage. I think if you were a market maker, James, you'd be licking your lips now. A little bit of a 108K incoming. Okay, so look out for that. That's the extreme zone. And that for me, if we do pump into that area, that's a possible short that you guys want to pay attention to. Okay, so watch those areas closely. Downside, you can see strong reaction here. So that's what we're going to use now for our base, 104,500. Okay, so keep it super simple. And how are you guys feeling? Should I long the top of ETH? Let me know. Are we going to go long the top of ETH? So let me know in the chats and we can give it a go. I made $1,000 on AAVE yesterday. I figured I could 20x that and make a $20,000 ETH long on CoinEx here. So let's see if we're going to give it a go. And I was saying just before I went live, I was saying to the hackers guys, I'm trying to build a little bit of Pepe here. And I see Panda's in the chats talking about some Pepe. So Panda, let us know what the plan is. Pepe is coming in hot for me. I do have that chart ready to go. There it is. Okay, so it is breaking this horizontal. In fact, let's do an emergency Pepe trade quickly here, because this ties in with what I was looking at earlier today, and there might be a little mover coming in here. So let's just get a chart out here on low time frames, and I'll show you guys what I'm thinking. So what we can do on the 15 minutes, you can see there's a little emergency break on Pepe, and this was I was looking for this earlier today. took a stop when they pulled back, but now they're going again. So if you want to do an emergency long on Pepe, your exit zone is a close under 1244. That's the safest area I can give you. So you can see they've popped the horizontal now, a little squeeze. Now they possibly come back. You want to make sure that that region holds 1244. Let's see if we can just tie it in quickly with our 382. There it is. Okay, that's perfect. So 1244. If you close under 1244, then you get a little bit more bearish. You're going to be sweating a little bit, and then you're waiting for the next zone. Okay, so emergency Pepe trade there, guys. That is the safest degen support I can give you. And I jumped in one not long ago, 15 minutes ago maybe. And there it is. So I've started nibbling at this thing, and we'll see if we can just push it a little bit harder. Let's see if we can give that a go. Now, let's get into the news quickly, and then I think we need to long the top of ETH. And James, will you check if ETH is going to run away from us here? Oh, it's going to run away from us. Let's long the top urgently. Okay, there's ETH. So let's go. We've got 30x. Okay, that's fine. And we made $1,000 yesterday. So let's call it $25,000. Okay, let's go. Let's go long. We're literally logging the top of ETH into this 200-day. I'll take you guys through this stuff now. And this is obviously extremely dangerous shit. If you're longing the top of something, you can get absolutely rinsed. So we're going to push this thing, or I'm going to push this thing. We're in the 200-day MA on ETH. If we get a break, well, it's going to be interesting. If we reject, well, it's going to do what it did the last 3 or 4 times and send us to zero. Okay, so those are your risks if you want to play the game. Now, let's talk lickies, because I might be part of the statistics just now if this carries on. So 24-hour, $200 million at the moment. And who's talking about FWOG here? Is FWOG still going? And Mia says long the top, degen style. Yeah, okay, well, we're going to look at FWOG because that was a little trade I took earlier. $200 million, that's not bad considering they've wiped out, all that liquidity there on BTC. So that's pretty interesting to me that it's only 200. And my goal was to make 50K in crypto this year. Only 75K more to go. Okay, so who's feeling like that? With all the chop. And I was actually loving this earlier today. Don't get involved in crypto. It's way too risky. But this is us crypto guys. This is what we do. Here we are. This is my best. There's James also longing the top of Brett. That felt like me now, longing ETH. Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna find out. Okay, enough of this. Okay, it's childish. Let's go. Why is James bullish about such bad job numbers? Well, here they are, and they came out earlier today. ADP non-farm employment change 37K. James, talk to me. Why are you excited about this?
Because we need a weak economy, shit job numbers in order for Powell to justify rate cuts. If the economy's strong, jobs are coming out hot, economy's running fine, he has no reason to cut rates whatsoever. He can only point the finger at Trump for so long for the tariff uncertainty, right? But if the economy's falling apart, he's gotta take action. Okay, so bullish on bad job numbers. Cool. Yes. Okay, possibility of rate cuts, possibility of too slow Powell. What do they call him? Too late Powell. Too late Powell. That's what he keeps saying. And TRGC says James doesn't want us to have jobs. He wants us to trade shit coins. That's full unemployment. Okay. Full unemployment so we can pump our bags, guys. That's on. Okay, so that is one of the things going on. So that could be a little bit bullish for us there. And then 𝗵𝗵𝗍 letter talking about this new spending bill. Okay, you've obviously been paying a little bit of attention with the spending bill, especially the Americans. But even with the safety net, the new bill is going to add $3 trillion to the US debt over 10 years. Okay, that's pretty hectic. Okay. This thing is talking pork bill. It's the pork bill. Straight pork. $5 trillion
by 2035. Okay, that's pretty rough. And remember, Elon, his goal was to cut spending by $1 trillion. All he did was manage to cut it by 175 billion. And now he's run with his tail between his legs.
That's why he's left. He's like, dude, I'm here to cut, and you guys are spending trillions. What the F am I doing? My businesses are falling apart. Trying to help you out with a couple bucks here. Yeah. The spending of this is insane.
Okay, so all around, it's a giant mess, and it's actually starting to look worse than it was in the beginning, okay? And interestingly, someone's brand is obviously getting a little bit damaged, and I find it funny, that Tesla is falling over a little bit at the moment, and there it goes, okay? So Musk, as you guys know, he's been complaining now about the spending bill, and he's removed himself from it, and he's not interested anymore, but he's tarnished a bit of his brand. But with all this drama, you can see there is weakness in Tesla, okay? And Tesla is now falling over for us finally. We've been waiting in this one, and that's nice, bearish divergence. So once again, no reason to ape into a close just yet, okay? I'm going to carry on. This is our banter bubble stock, so you can track it. But here's Tesla, minus 3.3% here at the moment. And here we are, okay? So we're now printing to the downside, $630 up. And that is cooking, okay? Microsoft, I'm still waiting for that to rinse me or actually dump on us. And I've taken a scalp long here, a little bit of a degen play, and I've used someone else's work here for this plan for Visa. Okay, so Visa could be a little play here, a little breakout play. So I'm going to show you this one quickly. And let's just talk. Okay, before we talk about Visa, this is obviously another bit of a bullish catalyst for us if they resolve this situation. Trump is talking to the Chinese president on Friday, so that could pump our weekend bags. That could be something to look forward to.
A couple of bullish tweets out of him on this. That could be some good news for us.
Yeah, cool. And is that going to give us our final push on the S&P before we get some kind of short? So is it playing into our hands now? Are we going to get this final push now? So I am still waiting for the 6,000 level on the S&P. Now, in terms of Visa and MasterCard, how's this? Okay, trend spider dropping, credit card debt at all-time highs. Is it time to party? And both of these charts look pretty similar. So I thought, well, let's have a go. Okay, let's look at it. Let's use this. A cup and handle going on here, pushing into resistance. I mean, you don't have to ask me twice to take a look at this little Visa breakout on credit card debt. I mean, it could be an absolute banger. So I've had a little sniff on BTC.C on Visa, and my current plan is, or my current exit plan is going to be a close under 359. Okay, so it's not, I'm not taking on massive risk. Possible target here through all-time highs, 408. Maybe a little bit higher, but 408 looks like a nice, reasonable target for us. So a 10% move possibility and about a 2 to 3% risk on this potential trade. So candle close under 359 makes sense to me that we bearish and then we start grinding lower, and we're not really going to stick around, and upside looks nice. Okay, so let's have a go. A breakout on a cup and handle here on BTCC. If you want to trade with me on BTCC, you guys know what to do. Everything I talk about is in the show description. Click on more. All the exchanges are there for you guys. BTCC is there. Remember, you just send crypto and then you can trade stocks with me. Okay, so there we go. There's a little Visa breakout trade possibility. And then gold is still so undecided. Gold doesn't know what to do. Yeah, Alex, I'm longing people's debt, bro.
Hey, people's debt, credit card debt's the highest it's ever been. So you can't go wrong with that trade. I would not short Visa or MasterCard.
I'm bullish on credit card debt
Me
at the
too.
moment. Okay.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
It's looking good. So longing people's debt, Alex, that's it. But gold, look how undecided gold is at the moment. So we've had a breakout of this trend on gold, and we're sitting at our major resistance band again. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we broke out, we've retested. So that is actually looking bullish from a price action, but our oscillator is telling us, hang on. Like, this is actually looking a little bit bearish. So there's mixed signals coming here. And I think this is fair to say the market is confused as hell at the moment, because if gold starts falling over, that should pump the S&P. If gold starts pumping higher, well, we're going to be in trouble in crypto, and we're going to be in trouble in the S&P. So we obviously want gold, ideally, in ideal situation, to fall over here. So obviously holding out for some kind of push there to the downside. And Sweeping Alan H says Dixie is going down. That's also pretty good, for these alternate markets. So that is kind of in a nutshell where we are. But gold undecided, guys. I'm not long, I'm not short. I'm just waiting to see where the next big gold move is. But here's a big move. And institutions are preparing to dump Bitcoin, according to 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗍𝗍. Okay, that's what he's saying. BlackRock moved $130 million worth of BTC to Coinbase. I mean, that sounds like a drop in the ocean of what they own. So I'm not too concerned about that. But they've got a total now, 560 million. And when you send BTC to Coinbase as an institution, you're typically looking to sell. Okay, so maybe they are offloading a little bit. And maybe they're watching the show because maybe they saw we lost that big daily horizontal level. You never know. Okay, so a little bit bearish there in terms of that. And just commenting on this 108K on the BTC level, just take note again why this is such an important zone. Because if we look at the daily, this band over here, 106 to 108K, is just simply a bearish retest of old major support. So if we do get this pump, it's going to look like this on the daily, and then a nice rejection and back down. So I'm still confident we're going to get this 101, 102 region at some point. And we most likely, if we do that, most likely getting 97, 98 as well at some point. So right now, we're just playing it by ear. We are all aware that we're under major support. So if we do get short-term pops here, it's short-term moves. We're not looking to shoot the lights out. We're not looking for the lows or the bottom of the market. I'm expecting short-term moves. And at some point, they're going to come and end us. And they're going to continue to send us down. Okay, that's pretty much how I'm seeing it going over the next while. So we're going to be very patient with these things. Okay, BTC, you got your levels, you've got your liquidations there to the upside. Talking altcoins again, pretty neutral. Okay, so not much to be said here. We at neutral phases. If they're above this neutral, it can be considered a little bit more momentum, and they can possibly push a bit higher. So that is interesting for us. In terms of outliers, I don't know what this bid is. I've never heard of this thing. And anime, yeah, that could be one. I think we grabbed that. Did we grab a long or a short? Not too long ago, James. It was a short or something.
That was a short from DJ and Dave. Yeah.
So if Panda's in the chat or if Jade's in the chats, won't you look at that for me again, this little anime? Let's see if we can do it round two. Now, while we're hunting there, this thing has been interesting to me. We've noticed, and I'm not sure if I remember an occasion like this where the altcoins aren't actually pumping that hard, but dominance is melting down. It's turning red, and BTC is a little bit so-so. And this is one of the instances we're finding at the moment. Normally, if we get a dominance drop like this, okay, that big, we normally get monster pumps in the market. So I can only assume that this is because all this money is now sitting in ETH at the moment, and they're holding it up. So while the market was falling over, we saw ETH holding, and that thing has hardly moved. While everything else has dropped 10, 15% or whatever from the last pump, this ETH has been holding up. So I suspect it might have something to do with that. But in terms of, dominance, it's under the 50-day MA. That's pretty bullish in theory for altcoins, okay? So we're just going to wait to see if this thing keeps dropping. If we do get into 63.4, this is a major take profit zone for me. So if we do get a little run here on these altcoins, guys, 63.4, put your alarms on there. That is going to be a danger zone there. Arshan says Lido is pumping. What is going on here? A little bit of a staking narrative here. Okay, so Lido, that is interesting. That is obviously a nice strength, an ETH strength play. And then obviously USDT dominance, this is unmoved at the moment. So pretty flat, but it's holding 200-day MA support. So this thing, again, mixed signals from the market. We've got dominance dropping. We've got bullish looking USDT dominance as well. So there's definitely mixed signals here. Gold at resistance, but unsure what it wants to do. And I think that really is just a pure sign of where we are currently in the market. Okay. Now, Look on Chain says it seems that a whale has bought 108,000 ETH. So that's $280 million via OTC. So we know, I mean, these guys are accumulating non-stop. Okay, this wallet's now holding 360 million. That's a fair amount of ETH. And ETH's RWAs now total 9.7 billion, dominating other chains as well. So showing strength there. And I mean, we can talk about the ETH all day with the institutions and all that stuff. But I mean, we still think it's an absolute shitcoin. But if it's going to blow the 200-day MA, we're going to do it together, James. Okay. Did you long the top with me, or were you too scared?
I don't touch that shit coin.
Come on, man. Okay,
Pepe. I'm in Pepe.
Okay, well, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so look, guys, if ETH's going to run, I mean, we know there's strength here at the moment in this thing. Obviously, we want to look at Pepe. We want to look at AAVE as well. There could be a couple of others. Lido, obviously, could be an absolute banger. So let's just cover where we are with ETH. Why was I so dumb that I longed the top of ETH? Well, again, sometimes you can't explain stupidity, but you can see what is going on here. We've seen momentum in the market. We've seen dominance falling over. And if there is one more little pump on BTC to 108K, I'm pretty confident that ETH is going to start breaking through these types of levels this time. Now, we've had 1, 2, 3 knocks on the door. If we get a fourth knock on the door, there's a possibility that it gets a little bit weaker. Okay, so let's see. It's a high risk play here. That's why we haven't gone giga size in the current situation. But if it breaks that 200-day MA, that's going to give us an opportunity to increase the leverage even more and then ramp up the size of that and use the 200-day MA as support for us later on. Okay, so baby steps. Let's get ETH above 2,680. And if we do hold that region above there, we're going to use that 200-day MA as our support and the bullish support to hold for further longs. And if it carries on going up, well, that's great. And if it carries on back down and tucks back into the 200, then we know we are probably back on for the range low, and we're going to play that game. Okay, and MF pushing into the green. What is MF? Is he saying like motherfucker pushing into the green? What is he trading?
I think he's bullish on ETH, maybe. That motherfucker's pushing in the green.
Okay, well, come on, ETH. Come on, ETH. That's literally a top long. Okay, literally a top long there. Okay, come on. Okay, let's see. Okay, so ETH, that's cool. We know what to do. Pepe, we looked at this yesterday. This is why. Oh, money flow. I prefer motherfucker. So that is so good. So Pepe, why did I take profit there yesterday? You know the reason. Look at that beautiful rejection. And again, we just used the high impact rejection zone there for taking profit. Okay, so 200-day MA, VWAP there, 382, absolute banger to take profit. Now we've had a pullback and we've into our zone that we wrote here, must hold to remain bullish. Now, this was quite a broad area on the 4-hour chart. You can see that's a general zone that we needed to watch. And if you dial in a little bit on this Pepe, we haven't quite hit my dream zone. Okay, my dream zone was the one I dropped in Hackers earlier today, 1195. That for me is such a banger. If we can get that on Pepe, and again, it's not necessarily off the table. We can still drop into that zone. So I don't want to write that off at the moment as a possible long zone for Pepe, but now we've gone the secondary play, and the secondary play is playing this dangerous breakout trade. Okay, so if you want to play, yeah, thanks, Spencer, I agree. So if you want to play this breakout trade, you can see here it is, and this is the support we can use. And this is going to be our exit plan. So it's a very simple game. If you break through these horizontals, you generally get a rejection. And what you want to see is this area hold. So it's 1, 2, 4, 4. Let's see if it's going to hold. If it doesn't, we're going to get rinsed. Okay. And I think at the same time, they're going to send ETH back down as well. Come on, guys. What's going on here? Okay. So, guys, that's your plan on Pepe, 1, 2, 4, 4. And then in terms of upside, well, where can it go? We just want to watch again, 1, 3. That's our main resistance. If we pop through 1, 3, your next target is going to be this 1, 4, 2, 7. Okay, so let's get through that, and then it's 1, 4, 2, 7. Drigo says, when long term? Drigo, I don't think we're ready for long term buys just yet. I think we need to see more pain. I think this market needs to come down. When BTC's in the 90s, I think we can start having that conversation on some of the alts. But right now, just having a little bit of fun, I think, at the moment, and trying to take what the market gives us. So, okay, you've got your upside zones there on Pepe. You know what to do in terms of support, just to cover the regions. 121, support 1, and 1195. If you drop into 1195, there's pretty good odds that you're going to get a bounce there. So mark that on your charts. That's a really nice zone. VWAP 618, VWAP 0.5 horizontal trend in that area, and by then you'll also get some kind of nice reversal on that 2 hour. So watch that if there is more downside. Remember, guys, all these charts go straight into Chart Hackers directly after the show. It will be there for you guys, so don't panic if you're looking at these charts, panicking, taking notes. You can get it afterwards, obviously, in Chart Hackers. Chaos, are we long or are we short here, bro? Let me know. Okay, another one showing strength, very important for us, is AAVE, and this was my higher time frame chart that I dropped in on the Monday updates in Chart Hackers, and you can see there's a couple of big targets to the upside that are untapped. Number 1, 291, number 2, 338. So these are the big areas that I suspect if we get a strong ETH move here, we should see AAVE finish the job. Now, finish the job is push into that first zone, or alternatively, depends how the weekend goes, push into 337. Okay, that's our next big one. But for me, that is going to be the big short zone. I think we need to start looking at if we push into that area. But for now, on a short-term basis, if there's going to be ETH momentum, and what is ETH momentum? For me, it's a clean break of the 200-day moving average. If we get that, then I think AAVE can run. And then I think AAVE can run to 290 and 338. How do you get there? Okay, so here's our lower time frame chart. James, are you still holding? Did you keep it?
No, I'm still in.
Okay, so I closed mine here, you can see, at that resistance zone, and now we're back again, round 2. So, guys, there might be a little play coming. And obviously, you don't want to go around longing the top of everything, because if you look at these oscillators, there's also signs that, you know, they're a little bit cooked here at the moment. But I've longed the top of ETH. If you want to have a crack at this one, your first move or your first play is going to be a breakthrough here, bang, and you want to hold this region. Now, we're going to look exactly what that is, but your first target's going to be 282. Now, if you can break up to 282, there's going to be a very good argument that this 274 to about 270 is going to hold as your support. So let's see if you get that pop into that 282. Yeah, I think it's a safe call to say you can buy that area 273 to 270 with some confidence there, looking for that bigger move that I just showed you on that higher time frame chart. Okay, but right now obviously things are cooked. So let's look on a zoomed in basis here. Where can we pull our 382? Where are we going to get our bullish zones in terms of support? So let's just take that one away. And now you can see our super DGen 236 zone here is going to be your first major area of support that you can play with. So that is 266. So watch this 266. So if, for example, there is weakness now in the market and BTC holds at lows from today, you should get some kind of bounce here at 266 on AAVE, and that could be your first line of bull support. Okay, so that's the safest one I can give you now. I cannot give you DGen support above that. Okay, yeah, I just don't like the look of that candle unless you start going in like much lower time frame and you start really trying to get cheeky here with some of these levels. But I would be super careful until you hit that 266. And then in terms of one DGen level for you guys, 270. Okay, 270 is what you can use. One DGen level there, 270 for you guys on AAVE. Okay, so there you go. You've got the upside plan there. If ETH pops at 200, I think AAVE runs. If ETH pops at 200, in fact, I think the whole market is going to run. Okay, so basically, if ETH rejects at the 200, I think the whole market's going to get rinsed. Okay, so it's quite an easy system at the moment, and we are right there. It's a major move now coming for ETH and the rest of the market. So here's hype, and this is the 12-hour. I'm still struggling in a hype position here, and I started flirting with this yesterday, and on the weakness, I've started adding a little bit today. Obviously, I'm relying on the fact that hype is going to hold 35.4. You can see that area now. It's acting as support for us. So I've made the assumption for now that it's going to hold this, because we saw today when the market was selling off, everything else was dipping, and hype was actually doing relatively well. And that for me was a good sign. Showing strength when the market is weak could be a nice sign for us when the market does pick up again. So 35.4 for hype is what I'm watching. Upside target 52. I am looking for this push now. But if we lose this 35.4, then it's bearish for me down to 32 again. And I'm not going to be sticking around. I've got too much. My position's too big to hold that thing lower. So I'm going to cut it there at that 35.4 if we lose that zone. Okay, target you got is 52. And next bounce zone, if we lose that area, you back at 32 for your next bounce on hype. Okay, so that's as simple as that. Then in terms of AVAX, this little short from yesterday, it took a while. Okay, they pumped it back, but now it is playing out. But I wanted to show you guys something really cool on AVAX that I picked up today. So I looked through a lot of altcoins today, and funnily enough, AVAX on the daily chart looks way more aggressive and way more bullish than a lot of other altcoins. What we need to wait for now is AVAX to reset on a 4-hour or 2-hour basis, and that could give us a possibility for a nice big daily sustained move. So I want to take you guys through AVAX at the moment. So the 2-hour, you can see yesterday it was looking bearish. We got the reversals, and now we are starting to drop. Okay, so that short on AVAX is starting to pay. And in terms of the 4-hour, let's just take a look at this. You can see this 4-hour is starting to turn over. Okay, so it's just a matter of time now, probably a day or two, and we're looking at some kind of bottoming out there on the 4-hour, which is really starting to tie in nicely, and that ties in for me with this daily chart. Look at this thing. We've just printed a bullish blue dot reversal, a green reversal, and bullish divergence on this daily time frame. So the nice thing is, or what I'm looking for here, is the next 4-hour reset on AVAX could be a really nice trade for us. But what we don't know is where that 4-hour is going to reset. If we get an ugly sell in the market, that trade could be at 19.3, somewhere in that area, that reset on the 4-hour and on the daily. So I don't want to discount this 19 zone as a possibility. But for me, we're going to play this by ear. I'm going to watch this every day on the show. And we're going to try and figure out where we're going to get our 4-hour reversal, because there is obviously a chance that this thing just dips into a 618, for example, and we get that 4-hour reversal here. And that's going to tie in really nicely with this daily reversal that you can see at the bottom. Okay, so signs are there. Okay, things are looking good in terms of AVAX. Let's be patient. Okay, so the big zone 19 to 19.3, short-term zone, guys, 20.5. Let's see what it does at 20.5. Let's take a look there in terms of where our 4-hour is, and then we'll see. Mark, what are you doing in hospital, sir? Is everything okay? Let us know in the chats. And he's watching hackers from his hospital bed. That's dedication. Okay, that is dedication. Mark, let us know in the chats. Are you okay, sir? What is going on? Okay, so that 4-hour, let's wait for that to reset. Be patient. Okay, so if you're sitting in that short from yesterday, no reason to close it. Just wait. Okay, let it play out. You've got time on this 4-hour. Let's talk Solana. Okay, another one. This thing turned a little bit bearish, and Dylan is the hedge master. He does what he wants. Look, hedging works, but you don't want it to work like you don't want it to be in a situation where you are the dip keeps dipping. Okay, because then at some point, like, it's going to be the same thing as being net long everywhere. So obviously, hedging works ideally if you're getting 618 dips and those types of things. Obviously, if you're going, you got to get your weighting right. But yes, obviously hedging is fun, guys. Okay, so in terms of Sol, this thing is a little bit bearish here at the moment. You can see this thing has lost our 50-day moving average, and in terms of the original plan, a little bit lower than what I wanted. I wanted to see Sol push into this band up here, and that was 165 to 169. So that was my ideal situation. That is now off the table. Okay, so now we have to look at Sol a little bit differently here, and you can see on this higher time frame chart, guys, 151 is still your first line of support, and 141 is your next major line of support. Now we're going to talk about something in a second that is going to possibly affect Sol and maybe push Sol down to 141. There's some scary news out there, okay? And Mr. 𝗵𝗆𝗄𝗆 is going to comment on this as well. So let's just look at Sol quickly. And in terms of yesterday, it was looking like an absolute banger. And what did we do? We broke through our 50-day MA. We started holding it as support. I added to my Sol position. And, no, you can't be blamed for adding on a nice break and retest. Off it goes, okay? And then the move was stunted quite early, and they sent us back down. So now Sol is sitting bearish again, and I think I've added a little bit more actually during the course of the day. And if we get a little pop now once again on Sol, I'm going to add more to this position. So we're looking at a break of 158.5. If we can push there, it's going to look like that Pepe chart. And then we want to look for that grind back into 169. And I still believe we're going to get some kind of rejection there in that area if this thing does push into that zone. Okay, so right now I'm sitting in Sol, no changes, 158.5. Let's break through that. We can add to our position there, and then 169 is probably the best TP zone from what I can see here in terms of these levels. Now Pump has deflated Sol short term. Okay, what do you make of this, James? What do you make of this?
I don't think it's good news. I told you earlier, I listened to Ran and his analysis, and he's obviously listened to a couple people, and there's varying opinions on what's going to happen here. Some people think this is going to be like the liquidity sucker, like a Trump token release. Others think that, Ran thinks this is a great wealth building opportunity for people that get in, right?
So
they did this raise right? That
So what happened here is, for those of you that are watching now, we're talking about Pump.fun. Okay, this is the platform where you launch these meme coins, and they've raised, they plan a $1 billion token sale at a $4 billion fully diluted valuation. Okay, now remember the Trump token, how that sucked liquidity. Okay, this is one of the first concerns here, and there's people fudding this thing, James, like basically saying an exit plan for these guys.
Right, and this is just them extracting their last bit before the memes all die and the cycle's over, that this is their last big liquidity grab. Rand doesn't think so. He thinks that this is actually a good thing, that this is going to create all this wealth and whatever else. And the reason that they're doing a $1 billion valuation, because if they don't bring it out with some kind of value, it's just going to go to shit like a lot of the other meme coins on their platform. He thinks that this is a legitimate token because of the amount of revenue they create. It's like $700 million they've made in a year.
Okay, right? So how's this? Okay, so remember OpenSea. Who was talking about this? So do you remember the memes are the new NFTs? So we had NFTs in 2021. We had a few memes. We had Doge, we had 𝗏, we had that type of dog shit. We had memes. We had NFTs. And that was going crazy. And NFT was the platform. OpenSea was the platform. And I think OpenSea did all sorts of things and tried to make money and did all sorts of raises. And then NFTs collapsed into nothing.
And OpenSea went to zero.
Yes. So the question is, are memes just the fad now? Because when nobody cares about memes in 6 months, if that's true, I don't know, Pump goes to zero. Okay. And
my opinion here on the whole thing is this is going to suck liquidity from Sol, because there are people that are into Sol that don't want to touch the shit coins, and they just get into Sol as the L1 and go, well, if I have exposure there, if the memes do well, I do well. So they're going to take some of that. They're going to go there. Not all of it. They're still, it's not going to tank Sol completely, but it's going to take some of the fun out of Sol over to this Pump fund for people that still don't want to get in the memes but want some exposure. So it's going to drain Sol. And if Sol gets drained, the big memes get drained, is the way I see it. Right. So your 𝗏, your Punky, all these other established memes, they're going to get shit on too when Sol gets tanked.
Okay, so you heard it here, guys. Like, that's the sentiment. And I must say, that to me makes a lot of sense. That argument makes sense to me. These guys have made $700 million in revenue. But if memes are fucked up and this thing causes a collapse in the market, they're not going to make $700 million, and then they're going to lose some of their value. So
the other thing is, all the people that are pro this token, they're pushing that. The people that believe in that, they're going to go ahead and sell other shit to jump into this, like the Trump token. It is going to suck liquidity, going, oh, this is the next money-making opportunity. So another reason that as this is released, and they don't have a date. This is supposed to be within the next 2 weeks. So this is a nuke that's just waiting to happen anytime.
Okay, so guys, here's some commentary on it. I'm not going to read this thing to you. You can follow this guy, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He had an interesting, fair commentary on it. Okay, he's saying, what if their intentions are pure, blah, 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 blah. Read it. It's interesting. Okay, he makes a good argument for them. That's a fair argument. And then Dupe's dropping this today. He says, no airdrop, no redistribution, no ownership, no confirmation from the team either. If the token isn't for the users, who's it really for? Okay, exit liquidity plan, potentially. Okay, so guys, there you've heard it. There's no token yet. You've heard the bull case and the bear case of Pump.fun. If you have to ask me which way I'm leaning a little bit bearish on the current situation. I'm going to rely on ETH to pump the markets for us, and Sol might give us a bit of a hard time. Okay, so guys, there's your Pump.fun. In case you are wondering, let's see the rinse. Oh no, I'm getting fucked now. I'm getting rinsed. Yeah, Virgin's turning over. Okay, this is a mess. Okay, let's see what we got. We got AVAX shorts. Okay, Frog was along from earlier. Let's see. Zcash is doing nicely. Good short there. Sui still under pressure. Pepe flat. Hype's doing okay. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag at the moment. How's my ENA short? ENA is actually pumping. Now, this is pumping on ETH strength at the moment. So that thing was nice. I think that thing was $500 up earlier today. So we're going to look at this ENA short situation. Let's quickly talk about Trump as well. 46 million moved to Binance. Okay, looks like they are going to be selling some of their Trump tokens. And there was a nice little chart here earlier that whenever they move tokens onto Binance, there was a bit of a sell-off on the Trump token. So what I'm going to say here, guys, is be careful. I'm not saying you have to short this thing because you can see the size of the pumps on this Trump token. But based on that information there, and if the market turns bearish, it's pretty obvious to me that this Trump token is going to be dropping. Okay, and this Trump token might start moving down to levels like this. And we're going to be looking at 17 to 20% drop on this Trump token. Okay, so just be careful there. If you are playing in the Trump token, they've moved big money onto the exchanges. High probability that if there's a little bit of bearish action in the market, they're going to sell this thing. This thing is going to fall over. So the next decent buy zone for me is 9.2, 9.3 down to 8.6, 9.3 down to 8.6. Let it play out. Okay, you can see inverse cup and handle going on here. Look at that. Okay, so you might get a situation pop, and then you're going to get a 20% move. So if you are looking to short something like this, ideally you want to short it on strength. So you want to short it on another pump candle, and you probably are going to find some kind of last minute pump candle here at some point. So if there is weakness on this thing, you're probably going to see something like this, a dip into that zone, and then a sharp pump, and that should be your opportunity to look for that short. So remember, try and short strength, okay, if you can get that. Okay, so Ronnie says ENA shorts wrecked. Okay, we're going to look at ENA now. Let's talk bonk. So I got stopped above entry on my big bonk trade that I took for that David Tech challenge. So I'm now $400 up or something. We're going to look at that now. And in terms of bonk, tops the smart money buy list for the past week. Now, my strategy for bonk was 4-hour or 2-hour reversals, and I'm going to stick to that. So I'm going to wait for another sign of a 2-hour or 4-hour reversal. When I see that on bonk, I'll let you guys know. Here's the 2-hour, not ready yet. Let's look for the 4-hour. Let's see how close we are. Okay, 4 hours not there yet. So I'm going to wait for the 2-hour, 4-hour reversal, and I'm going to have another crack at this bonk. Okay, so you can see I stopped it out above entry. So I've got 5,343.5 left in the account. It started at $5,000. So after all that waiting and all that time and pumping up to whatever, $2,000 up, it's come back and it stopped me above entry here. So we've got a small profit running at the moment. I'm going to take one more trade, but I'm waiting for that reversal. So I'm just going to be patient here. We'll let it play out. When we get the reversal, we're going to go in on the same basis. We're going to try a nice swing trade here on this thing. So just hang out with me. And look, ENA, guys, it's just pumped. And that might have been an offering to potentially add. Okay, so let's see if we can add a little bit to this ENA short. Okay, nice little pump there. Let's see. Okay, so obviously, you know, my assumption here is still that this thing is a little bit bearish under these zones.
And people screaming there's a Coinbase listing on this, and that's why it's pumping.
Oh, fuck me. Well, this gives us even more reason to short this thing. Okay, let's just look at these levels quickly. Did it get listed now?
I guess, yeah, I see it. I haven't seen that, but it's all through the comments here, yeah.
Okay, I mean, guys, yeah, you know what happens. These things pump and then they reject. Okay, so ENA, these are your levels. You're shorting here at 355 or you're shorting it at 375. Those are the two zones. I'm going to add a little bit here to this thing. Okay, let's see. If the market turns bullish, these Coinbase guys might come and buy it. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, ENA is still showing the bearish signs under these levels. There is that bearish divergence. There is the reversal print. Can a Coinbase listing save them? We'll have to wait and see. But these are the typical rejection zones. So it's 375 and it's this area here at 355. Okay, those are the bearish zones, and if it starts breaking above, we can use these as support later on. Okay, master of lickies, bro. Well, you're gonna witness a lickies here if this thing pumps through and then this Coinbase listing sends us a little bit higher. Okay, now virtual seems to be wanting to end me, but I don't think it's over just yet. Let's see. We're printing our reversal now on the 2-hour. And we can see our cash flow is actually starting to turn up, which is interesting to me. So this cash flow has gone down, look at that, and now it's starting to trend higher. So there are signs that a reversal could be due on this virtual, but the question you have to ask yourself is when does it happen? And what you need to do is look at your big zone. So again, keep it simple without panicking, okay? Virtual is in zone number 1. You can see this area here makes sense to us. This is the lows of the previous range. And obviously, ideally, we look for some kind of move and push to the upside. If it drops, this is it's so clear what is going on down here. This is going to be your next major reversal zone. So levels right now for virtual 184 makes sense to me. There's a bullish order block here, range low. If this area fails, the next big area is 1.69 down to 1.63. That's your 200-day, that's your order block, that's your horizontal. There's your 50-day bringing up support as well. and there's a VWAP in that zone. So no panic region, okay? No panic zone allowed. And these are the two big areas. So manage this accordingly. You can see I'm long here. If we start losing these levels, I'm going to start trimming that position. We'll cut a little bit, and then we're going to look for the bounce in that next block. Okay, so that's the only way you can really play these things at the moment. So 169 down to 16, call it 162, we said. Okay, so watch that area. You can see the 2 hour is waiting. We need a reversal. You might find that you print divergence here, and that ultimately means we drop to the next level. Okay, so don't get yourself in a panic on virtual. These are the big zones that you want to pay attention to. In terms of other shorts, LQTY, whatever this thing is, we're still waiting, and nice and green. Waiting for the zone. Okay, just be patient. Alarms are on. Wait for this thing. 1.17, I love this. 1.22, I love this. Really nice area here. Final push for me in that zone. Super bearish order block. 200-day MA, VWAP from the highs. It's a banger. Okay, it's an absolute banger zone. So waiting patiently on that one. And then in terms of Altcoin, guys, look straight into the pocket. Now, I missed the opportunity, unfortunately, but in terms of hot zones, in terms of what we were looking for on Altcoin, actually quite a nice dump. Okay, and this might be the start of that move to crypto lady 75 that she's looking for. And like we said yesterday, this is on the table for us. This whole region over here. Okay, that box over there, 75. And how do you get there? You typically get there in a downtrend like this. So we've dropped here, we've retested, we probably drop down again, and you get that retest, and then we get something like that. So there will be a couple of trades on Altcoin along the way. You want to focus on those reaction zones to the downside. Obviously, we have one now locked in, and that is our big zone. And Carlos, what's going on with Launchcoin? Do we need to look at this quickly?
A lot of people in the chat's talking that it's just going insane. I haven't seen it, but that's the rumor apparently based on our chat.
That's because now Launchcoin, they're saying that this is such a better investment than Pump.fun. Okay, because of the FUD on Pump.fun, they're saying there's more utility here and there's more value. Okay, so guys, nice, that's candle. The narrative. Yeah, that's what's going on. Nice candle. Let's see. Where's my chart that we've been working on? Let's see if we've still got that one. Okay, there, that's pretty decent. We've broken through some horizontal there. Okay, so looking like everything else, guys, if you want to trade the momentum, you're in a spot now, okay? Because your risk is, pretty deep here. Take a look at this. So if this thing rolls over, your risk is 18%. Like, I can't touch that. That's too much for me, too much for my liking. That is pretty dangerous there. Yeah, just be careful. What I would say here is what you can do is you can go down into a degen basis. Okay, so you can break it down like this. I can give you some degen levels here that you can play with. I would be very careful longing something like this. And after a pump like that, that's pretty brutal. Let's just look at a couple of degen plays here for you guys. Let's see if we can build something in this area. Okay, you just got to ask yourself the question, are these areas reasonable? If it dropped into the zone, would I be happy? Would I be happy that I gave the trade a chance? Those types of questions. Okay, so your first reasonable area for me, 146. Watch that, 146. That's, you can have a discussion in that area. Look at that. There's some horizontal. There's some fibbage there. You've got that VWAP creeping up. And this also makes sense to me. This next one, look at that. That wick rejection and your VWAP, that's also a nice zone. Okay, so if you want to be as safe as possible and take on as little risk on a degen basis as possible, those are the options: 146, 139, and 133. Those are your fairest areas. Okay, those are the safer zones. Anything before that, you can see. Yeah, if you're longing the top of this thing, let's just see how hard this thing can dump here. Let's go there. That's already 11%, 15%, 19%. Okay, so super volatile coin here. Let's be safe with this one. And Launchcoin is vaporware, short that to zero. Salvador, I like this, man.
I hate to tell you, it's all vaporware, dude. All of it.
It's all except ETH, hey? Except ETH. Guys, anyone surprised? ETH rejecting at the 200-day. Come on, ETH. Such dog shit. Okay, well, I'm going to hold this thing and let's see if we can break through today. Okay, so there we go. Another case. 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections on the 200-day MA. Are we eventually going to break this thing? Okay, so we're going to send this one. We're going to leave this one as the Hail Mary play here. We're using yesterday's profits to send this one. Let's see if this is going to play out. Now, guys, again, very mixed bag. And you said 93 for WIF yesterday, hitting it soon. Okay, let's look. Mixed bag out there at the moment, guys. You can see. Look at this Pepe's just hanging on. Okay, just hanging on. Let's look at WIF. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah. We're nearly there. Okay, so yesterday, nice rejection on WIF at the VWAP, and now a nice little reset here. Okay, so let's wait. Let's see what we got. Let's look at a lower time frame. Remember, some of the best moves are on the reversals. Okay, preferably 2 hour, 4 hour. You can obviously hit 1 hour too. Let's take a look here. Okay, 1 hour's not close yet, 2 hours not close, 4 hours not close. So I would just wait, just be patient. It's coming. You can see it's coming. But you heard what James said. Eh? This Pump.fun could cause problems for some of these other memes as well. So just be careful here. In terms of zones, guys, we're nearly there. Okay, so you can see your rising trend. You can see your reaction here on the VWAP. And yeah, I'd say anywhere down from this zone into 915. But you really want to see this thing resetting. Okay, you want to see one of these time frames printing a reversal. When you start seeing that, then you can start looking at these things. Okay, so watch out here. 93 is the VWAP, 915 is that 0.5. That's interesting. And then 885 is your horizontal, and 618. So these are the three zones you most likely are going to get that reversal on that oscillator. So just be patient. Don't go too soon. Just wait, and let it come to you. And then you're going to have your shot at this thing. Okay, so could be there. Okay, but then you got 915 and you got 885. Wait for that reversal. Wait. Okay, Artemis, we long Pepe, bro. We're going to go to 0 together, or we're going to Valhalla together. It's really that simple, guys. So if you're feeling a little bit confused with the market, well, yes, everybody is feeling a little bit confused at the market. And gold is the perfect chart to look at to say, I'm the most confused. That gold is looking bearish on the oscillator. It's looking bullish on the chart. S&P wants to roll over, but the price action is saying it wants to go higher. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. All we can do here is say, where's BTC on the higher time frame? And we know BTC is actually bearish. It's below 107, 108K. And until it's clear above those zones, I don't want to be super bullish on this market. I'm happy to play short-term moves and look for those types of things, but I'm not feeling like we need to be hodling anything or be grabbing anything for the long road just yet until we get some lower levels. Again, that's my opinion, and obviously could be wrong, but that is kind of how I'm seeing it at the moment. So still playing both sides, trying to get the moves, but you can see these things are very short-lived. Little pump up and then they rip you down. Little fake out here and they rip you down. So all I can say, be patient. The good stuff comes back, as you know. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you, James.
Good luck, everyone.
So now you were bullish, and now are we still going to pump to 108?
We'll see. I think we will. I think the market's just so confused on all the different news here that, yeah, we're going to have some chop. US session's going to be shit, big surprise, and Asia's going to have fun. The normal daily routine.
While we're sleeping, these Asians have all the fun.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Cool. Okay, James, see you later. Okay, guys, be safe. See you guys, obviously, in chart hackers and all these things. Catch you tomorrow.